Have you ever looked at two client campaigns and wondered why one just works, runs smoothly, while the other is a total mess of chaos and escalations? Well, it's usually not about luck. It's about a very specific, very crucial role. Let's dig into what that secret ingredient really is. The big difference, the one thing that stands between success and failure, is a guardian. You need someone whose entire job is to protect the process, to safeguard the client's expectations, and ultimately to defend the final outcome. And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. Customer success isn't some afterthought or a simple support role. No, it is the starting point of everything. They are the sworn protectors of what the client is trying to achieve. This idea is really the heart of the entire playbook. Okay, so what does being a guardian actually mean day to day? What do they do? Well, their role is to build the foundation. Everything else, all the trust, all the accuracy, is built right on top of their work. Just look at this list. The guardian is the face of the company to the client. They're the gatekeeper, making sure every launch is clean. They're the diplomat who keeps that trust strong. And they're the firefighter who stops escalations before they even start. But the most critical piece, it's their ability to communicate all the technical details with perfect accuracy to all the other teams. A tiny slip up here can cause a massive avalanche of problems later. Everything, and I mean everything, begins here, the pre-launch phase. This is where the Guardian does their most important work, laying down a flawless foundation before a single dollar is spent or a single lead is generated. It really comes down to this simple but totally non-negotiable three-step checklist. First, you do a deep dive review of the campaign specs. Second, you meticulously upload everything to the system. And third, you do one final painstaking verification. Let's break them down. Step 1 is all about getting into the weeds. The Guardian has to know the campaign specifications, the specs, inside and out. We're talking about the exact start and end dates, the specific target account list, and, just as important, the suppression list. You know, the people you absolutely should not contact. And then you have the nitty-gritty details like contacts per company and cost per lead. Nothing gets touched until this document is 100% understood. All right, once everything's confirmed, every single one of those details has to be transferred into the system of record, which is Salesforce. Now, this is so much more than just data entry. You're basically translating the client's promise into a set of operational commands for the whole team. And here, accuracy is everything. Which brings up a really important question. I mean, let's just say one little number is off. A tiny typo in one field. What's the actual harm? How bad could it be? The damage can be, well, catastrophic. A simple mistake in the cost per lead, the CPL, can completely wreck the revenue calculation for the entire campaign. That one little error leads to bad reporting, total confusion for the ops team, and a complete breakdown of client trust. It's a perfect example of why precision isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute requirement. And that brings us to the final gate, the last checkpoint. Before anyone dares to hit that launch button, the Guardian does one last sweep. They review every single upload, they compare every field against the original specs, and they hunt down any mismatch or missing detail. The goal is nothing less than 100% accuracy, because this is literally the last chance to catch a mistake before it goes out the door to the operations team. Okay, the foundation is secure. The campaign is officially launched. But the Guardian's work, it's really just shifted into the next gear. The second that campaign goes live, the Guardian's first move is to get the creative team on the line. There can't be any delay. Those landing pages are crucial for getting leads, and they need to be built right away to match the campaign's message. So now we move into what I call the vigilance phase. The campaign is live, it's out in the wild, and the Guardian's role shifts from being a builder to a watchful protector, constantly monitoring the campaign's health and making sure it stays on track. This whole vigilance thing is really just a continuous cycle. They're always on the lookout for client updates, they're constantly tracking the delivery pace, and they're ready to jump on any rejected leads super fast. Let's see how that actually plays out. Campaigns are living, breathing things, right? They change. A client might email over a new target list or tweak the instructions. The Guardian's job is to live in their inbox, spot these changes, compare the new specs to the old ones, update Salesforce, and, this is key, immediately tell the operations team so everyone is working from the latest playbook. What's up with this number, 48? Well, it's all about urgency. The first batch of leads has to be delivered within 48 hours of launch. That's not a suggestion, it is a hard deadline. The Guardian has to be proactive, following up with all the delivery teams to make sure the campaign kicks off with real momentum. So what happens when a client rejects a lead? The Guardian's response has to be instant. They don't wait around. They see that notification, they immediately follow up with ops to figure out what went wrong, they make sure replacement leads get into the queue, and they see to it that those replacements are delivered on time. That kind of rapid response is how you maintain a client's confidence. Now, through all these different stages, pre-launch, the launch itself, and all the ongoing vigilance, there is one principle that rises above everything else. It is the Guardian's single most important rule. And to be clear, this isn't just a best practice or a friendly suggestion. In this playbook, it's treated like an unbreakable law. It's the one thing that prevents the vast majority of problems from ever happening. And here it is. So simple, but so powerful. When in doubt, pause, verify, and then proceed. If anything at all seems unclear, if it feels wrong, if it looks like something's missing, you stop. Full stop. You have to get clarification before you move an inch. Why? Because you are the starting point. A mistake you make doesn't just affect you, it poisons the entire delivery chain that comes after you. So when you put all these pieces together, it becomes incredibly clear that this isn't just about ticking boxes on a to-do list. It's about a deep commitment to a standard of excellence. The hallmarks of a true Guardian really shine through. It's that meticulous, almost obsessive attention to detail. It's being proactive with communication, not reactive. It's that uncanny ability to work seamlessly across a bunch of different teams. And more than anything, it's a deep, personal commitment to delivering excellence for the client, period. And that really leaves us with one final, powerful thought. This whole playbook shows us that the best people in customer success aren't just managing a process. They are guarding a promise that was made to the client. So the real question you should take away from all this is, which one are you?